Today, you get to meet a SiteSwan reseller who went from cleaning carpets to selling websites, and he's off to a really fast start. He's got 13 clients in just about 2 months, and despite his fast start, he's treating it like a marathon and is in it for the long run. Rickey has a vision of greatness, a commitment to honesty and excellence, and a knack for getting website leads almost everywhere he goes. In my interview with Rickey, you're going to hear how he moved across the country with his wife and 2 kids, one of which is a newborn, to allow his wife to pursue her career. And when the job market wasn't giving him the opportunities he wanted, he finally got the courage to do something he's always wanted to do: become an entrepreneur. Fast forward 2 months and he's got referrals coming in from everywhere. His brother became his business partner, and he's realized that selling websites lets him be who he really is, especially personality-wise, which by my definition is a thoughtful, trustworthy, magnetic ball of energy who you just can't help but root for. I mean, one of the things he promises his clients that they get when they sign up with him is a new friend, him. Rickey claims SiteSwan has changed his life, but I'm convinced it just brought something out of him that he didn't fully realize he had. The desire to help other people's businesses, to interact and work closely with them, to reach new levels of success and pump out beautiful website designs that he can really be proud of, all without any prior experience. It's my honor to introduce you to Rickey Round. Rickey, thank you so much for doing this with me today.
I appreciate you having me here with you, brother.
Rickey, I want to know what your life was like before you started selling websites with SiteSwan.
My life has been a roller coaster because I'm 34 right now, and I told myself 10 years ago that I need to be doing something special. And I say it's a roller coaster because I've worked in various fields of work. I was a carpet cleaner at one point, and that was very hard labor. Then I went to college up in Utah. Me and my wife got married, lived out there for about 4 or 5 years. And afterwards, her goal was to move to Texas because she's originally from Texas. Within that 5-year time period, we had a kid, a little daughter, and she's 4 now. And then right before we moved out to Texas, we had a son. And so my wife got her job in nursing, and then I was looking for work here in Texas. When you're not looking for work, people seem to hire you. When you are looking for work, it's hard to get a job. I was looking for work, and I was the stay-at-home father for the most of it, up till now. There were some offers where I would get the right job, but the scheduling didn't work out. Not for a one-month-old to be babysat by someone else.
Right, so you were trying to find something that you could do during the day so that one of you would always be home with the kids.
Yeah, and so her night shift schedule was just complicated. And so every time I found a job that was right job, scheduling is off. Every time I found the job the right schedule, the job wasn't right. Like it was just not what I wanted to do, or the pay wasn't good enough. But I was like, man, I looked at it as a blessing after 5 or 6, 7 months of not getting employed, because my wife was like, maybe this is the time for you to really start venturing out or starting your own business that you always wanted to do.
So that's been like an itch you couldn't scratch for a long time.
Yeah.
When did you first have that idea in your head that you should be an entrepreneur?
I've always wanted to do it because when you work for a lot of companies, you see a vision that you don't always co-align with, and you want to change it so bad. Or maybe you could see a little small problem that you could tweak up and do this process a little better. And then I just told myself, if I was my own boss, this is what I would do. And so that's how I came across SiteSwan, honestly. I was just looking up franchises. I was on franchisefinder.com, and then I saw SiteSwan, and then I was like, man, $150 a month. And then I was like, it's a low overhead cost. And I looked into it, and it is exactly what you said it would be. It's exactly what you said it would be. And then the platform of it itself, it just made sense for me.
Awesome. Now, did you come into this with any specific web design experience, digital marketing, sales experience, anything like that?
No, the only website design experience I had was I did a little bit of coding back in college, but it was so frustrating. But so I knew how special the software that we were using, and I knew how much I valued it, because in my head was that, man, I can build a demo for someone where they can look at it and see what their business would look like in a website before they buy it. The advantage of you having this ability to do that, you will outbeat almost every professional coder out there, because they aren't going to spend that amount of time to build a website demo and it possibly not turn into a set, right?
Right. The old way of doing it is, let me make sure that my customer is completely 100% qualified before I do any work to show them what I'm capable of. But then you oftentimes will have such a difficult time qualifying people because they feel the opposite. They're like, no, show me what you're capable of before I tell you that I'm committed to working with you. So it was like this tugging contest that nobody won at.
Yep.
which is why so many businesses have been without a website for so long, and they're hesitant or have been hesitant to make a switch because they're like, who can I trust if I can't get access to what I'm going to be getting before I'm asked for my deposit?
Yep. It's like you go into the mall and at the Chinese restaurants where like sometimes they'll hand out a little piece of teriyaki and you try it out. That oftentimes pull people right in. Because
it's worked on me countless times.
Yeah, you get to try it before you buy it. And that is a time for you to use that demo as a relationship builder too. You use that
Let
demo.
me ask you this. In your previous work history, like what about it made you feel like, oh yeah, website sales makes sense for me? What can you draw a line from to SiteSwan where things just clicked?
I did a lot of sales before I started with SiteSwan. I went out door to door and I sold pest control. And it was hot. I had blisters on my feet. The drivers would come out and drop you off in the middle of a neighborhood.
It's a tough sale.
It's a tough sell. Now, I told myself, I said, man, if I can go out, knock door to door, do blood, sweat, tears, and get a fraction of what they're getting paid, and I don't even get a residual off of that, I can do that for something I own. It'd be that for myself.
And you work once, and you collect month after
monthly
month.
Residuals. And that monthly residual can translate into years to come. It is, you're looking at one client, and that's one client is $600. That is your year's worth of car insurance. That's literally a year's worth of car insurance. You look at another client, $600 is a year's worth of your phone bill. And then that's years to come. And the reason why I like it like that as well is because it motivates me to keep being engaged with clients as well. I find myself checking up on clients, making sure that they're okay, updating them, sending them.
Because you want to make sure your cell phone is going to continue to get paid.
Yes. You can. For some reason, I didn't know. I never thought I'd get into this niche here, but I never thought I'd be working with so many barbers. I have 4 barber shops in my list now, and I never thought I'd be working. But now I like it. Now it's great. Now when I look into it,
and now you get free haircuts.
Yeah, I get free haircuts.
Let me ask you a question on that real quick. So you've sold websites to multiple barbershops. We don't have a ton of barbershop themes. Tell me what it was like to be able to put 4 barbershops out into the world that are not identical.
They won't have to be identical. You can tailor it to the client. And when I started fiddling around with the SiteSwan software, I found out how to do videos. I found out how to put on different images. I found out like lighting, coloring, whatnot. I'm thinking about how most people just want to call a customer, and the customer just wants to call you. They want it quick and easy access. And then there's a map button. I'm driving. I just need to know where it is. Click on the map button. And same with every other function right now. So I did have one time where a client was like, mine looks almost similar to his on the mobile version. And I said, it's meant to be engaging. We want to make sure that your clients are going to be able to call you easily, find a map of it easy, look for your business easy. That's the main reason why.
And there are some cardinal rules of web design too, that best practices will dictate certain things, like your logo should be in the top left. What's the last time you saw a logo in the top right of somebody's website? Never. It doesn't happen because it's not best practice. If you say to someone, where would you expect the navigation to be? Everyone's going to point to one of 2 different spots on a website because that's just what has been ingrained in our minds and even in our muscle memory in our fingers for a very good reason, because it's logical. So yeah, I love that, because I've been asked that too. Like, how come this resembles this? And it's, what other way would you have done it? Like, where else would you expect to have the call button besides right underneath your logo on the top of the screen? It's always there on mobile devices. You have to reconcile that also.
People like familiarity. Your website is meant to help your clients bring more customers to them. It's meant to be engaging.
Here's the thing too, Ricky. You may get to a point in your career where you start to familiarize yourself with more custom websites. Maybe you get into coding, maybe you get into WordPress stuff and things like that. And with that, you can do like literally anything the client asks for, because if you know the code, if you know how to manipulate the back end, then you can achieve pretty much anything the client asks for. But that comes at a price, because just because you can do something does not mean you should do it for the client without them paying extra, because there is a time factor, there's an experience factor, and we have a lot of clients who will say, yeah, SiteSwan's in my toolbox. Like, it's the platform I choose to start off with for all of my client sites. And if and when there is something that they absolutely 100% need and want that for whatever reason the platform can't do for them, they'll tell me. I'll sell them a site for $5,000 or $7,500 or whatever it is, which is the amount of money they need to charge to build the site on a different platform. Then everyone's happy. So,
and you know what? With the SiteSwan tool that you have, it's gonna still be more sufficient than what other businesses are gonna have. Yeah, just like how you said, like I have 4 barbershops, and if you type in barbershop and then you ask them to click on some random barbershop, it's nowhere gonna look as intuitive and engaging and professional. Nowhere. And I've seen ugly websites. I was like, oh, go ahead, type it in. And then I was like, and then you could tell your customer, you could tell your client, type in barbershop, go to barbershops and pull up on Google listings, and you'll see. Maybe a professional website will be on Great Clips, but they're willing to pay thousands of dollars for it. And so
was the barbershop your first client, or who was your first website client?
My first website client was the barbershop.
Nice.
Now, it was on July 6th was the first time I had signed on board. But I was so excited about it. It was on July 4th when I was at a festival, 4th of July festival. And I was walking around and saying, hey, it's cool, pretty cool business you have here. Do you have a website for it?
Wait a second. You haven't even signed up for SiteSwan yet.
Yep.
But you're learning about us. You're watching some videos, whatever. You go out before you've signed up.
Yep.
You get a site essentially pre-sold before you signed up for SiteSwan.
You just walk around, and it's that easy, it's that casual. Because you can walk up to a business, and you don't have to be up in there with the suitcase and tie. You can just be a customer and just say, this is a pretty cool product. Now, what if I wanted to buy this from outside the vendor here? Is there a website I can go to? And then they'll say yes or no. If they say yes, you say, okay, awesome, cool. I'll look forward to buying their products online. If they say no, and then you can go from there and say, I actually build websites. And then if people like your products here and you're only selling it to vendors, they can purchase it outside of you.
At the very least, follow you.
Yeah.
Right? Catch up with you, see what else you offer. Because just because you're at an event, and I'm thinking of a typical vendor that you might find under a tent at an event of some kind, they will bring an offering, a sample of what they offer.
Exactly.
But it's not going to be their entire inventory, every product they've ever made, and they don't have anything that showcases all their capabilities that go beyond what they brought with them that day. The only way that they can truly capitalize on a presence at a craft fair or vendor type thing is if they are working to bring leads into their marketing system.
Yep.
And the only way they can effectively do that is if they have something strong at the center of their marketing, which is a website. That is going to, it could function as everything. It could function as a place where people can subscribe to their email newsletter. They can view the entire catalog of products and services they offer. They can read about the story, right? Because oftentimes I know I've visited, like just recently I went to this fair with the kids and there was this juice company and it had all these different flavored juices, all different colors. And the kids were like, I have to have that. But because all the other kids at the fair were saying the exact same thing, I was catching bits and pieces of what the lady was saying to other families about her process and what made it so special and the ingredients, and she grows her own fruit apparently and all this stuff, but I wasn't able to get the full story, and there was nothing in her tent that told me the story. So that type of situation where I could grab a business card of hers and I could go to her website made it much easier for me to truly understand exactly what this woman and her business is all about. And so that I could make a better decision about if I wanted to buy and how. Turns out her products are available in a bunch of different stores that are right near me. I had no idea. There was a link to buy on Amazon and some other cool things. So I didn't get anything at the fair because I couldn't get the full story. But by taking a card because of the crowd, I was able to get the full story, and she was able to get me as a client. So to your point, I never even thought of fairs being a good thing to recommend to people about how to prospect.
Look how organic and casual and easy that was. Like,
right.
She saw that you're a real person. You're already ruling out one objection. There's so many scams, so many fraud that goes on today, so many AI tools. People are really afraid of getting their card out on file and stuff like that. So whenever you call that person back up or you text that person, you say, hey, I'm Justin. We met at the fair and I got your card and I build websites. Right? They say, oh yeah, I remember you. Happens all the time. For me, I always have my pitch is not even a pitch, but it's really casual. When I go play basketball at the gym, and then after, whenever we're resting up or something like that, I'm like, oh, hey, for example, I'll say, hey, Joe, tell me about yourself. What do you do for work, man? He's, oh, I work for this company. Or, oh, I own my own business. It's, oh, for real? That's pretty cool, man. What kind of business it is? Everybody small talks about what they do for work. Everybody knows a lot about their job. And so I got 3 or 4 clients just from casually talking to people like that. What do you do for work? I said, what do you do for work, man? Oh, like on the side I cut here, or on the side I make music, or on the side I take photography photos. Another thing I could say is, so what are you doing as a side hustle these days? You know, oh, I don't really have a side hustle, but I've always wanted to do this. And then you can use your website as a way to start up their business. And
I like that.
call those investment business. Sales doesn't have to be as cliche as people think it has to be. Very casual and organic.
Exactly. We all have this vision in our mind of what a typical salesperson looks and sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that in order to be successful in sales, you have to emulate that, but that's the complete opposite of the truth. In fact, the further away you are from that sleazy car salesman avatar, the better success you're going to have in sales, because people want transparency, they want honesty, they want sincerity, and they want someone who frankly cares.
Now, truth be told, there's a good and bad thing about this situation here. Good thing is that you're getting new clients. Bad thing is that, like, your wife doesn't know you're working. And she's like, where have you been all day? I was like, I'm at work. She's like, you were playing basketball. I was like, that doesn't count as work. As, hey, I may have played 1 hour of basketball, but that got me a new client.
Yeah.
So
networking, babe.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if I could be a millionaire playing basketball, you wouldn't care. I meet some friends out at the gym, and I love SiteSwan because you can sell it however way you want. I have picked up the first client I did get. Like, I had some clients from the fair, but like the very first client where I was able to sign up, got payment, and I think it was one of the barbershops where I used the prospecting tool. But I started locally, so I found a barbershop, and it was called the La Dominicana Barbershop. Called him up, and then I said, hey, I'm Rick, website designer. I'd like to come by your business, show you what your business would look like in a website. And then when I called him, I already know that the objection that some people have is that whether I'm going to be a scam or not. But if I'm saying I'm willing to go meet them at their business, that's already itself says a lot. And if they were to say, oh, I'm really busy, but can you send me the demo through text or whatever, it still notified them that you were still willing to visit them and meet them in person. So the barbershop asked me, he's like, yeah, come around 10 o'clock, show me what you got. And as soon as I walked in, and he was like, oh yeah, you called yesterday, right? Yes, I did. And I have a demo I'd like to show you. I have the desktop version and a mobile version. He loved it. And then as we were just talking about his business, he just said, oh wait, before you go, here's payment. I didn't even ask for the payment. Because I need to put a card on file for you. So he gave me the card, and I got my payment right there and then, first day. That was my first client. And then I did give him, I was a little bit more giving, I think $2.99. At that time, how I was thinking about was that, like, I understand that I need to build a portfolio. My goal was to get a minimum of 4 clients to pay for this lease, $50 a month. Now, that one sale was the $2.99. It already paid for it. And so I was like, all right, I made my money back. Shoot, I've only leased out this software here for 2 days, and I made my money back. It's then this thing called momentum. Once you get your first one, you won't be able to stop. And then I remember knocking door to door, telling myself, man, I remember I used to knock maybe 100 doors, and maybe I'd get 2 sales. But I used a prospecting tool on the SiteSwan website, and I only called 10 businesses, and then 2 responded.
Well, tell you the difference, Ricky, is that you can qualify leads before you call them.
Exactly.
Because you could see, do they have a website, yes or no? If the answer is no. If it's yes, let's go check it out and find out what's wrong with it. Oh my God, no images load. It's got a paragraph of text on the entire site. It's copyright 2017. It's built by someone who's charging them $500 a month. There's all these reasons why people need a new site. So if you can just spend a minute to pre-qualify and then call only those who you've qualified already, then yeah, you're gonna have a higher closing percentage.
Yep. And you know what? I'm so thankful for coming across this franchise. I've been so grateful to come across it because it gives me the ability to be at home with my kids, be transparent, Like when you're your own boss, you can be able to waive things off on your own. The first client that I did have, it was only $2.99, but if I had worked for someone else and they're like, no, the minimum's $4.99, Rick, you have to keep it at $4.99. But I'm like, dude, some money is better than no money. It only took you like 10 minutes to punch and play here and there. And so for me, I was just like, for that barbershop, the reason why he was okay with it, because these businesses that are really invested into having marketing done for them and website optimization, they're looking for help. And so you as a business owner can be a little empathetic and say, you know what, I can help you out. Yeah, I can waive off $200 and this product is worth $1,000 and I'm already giving it cheap for $500, but I'm willing to help you out if you help me out.
That goes a long way.
I'm trying to build a portfolio.
That goes a long way also because you're building this relationship too, that from one business owner to another, right? It's always nice to have that thing.
And that business owner today gave me 2 referrals. I actually signed one today. Exactly. It's called Blackshear Barbershop and it's not even live yet. I already built the website and he signed today and he gave me card payment today. And you have to look at it. Yeah. And then I got another barbershop, salon, a beauty salon that I'm working. And the reason why I got was SiteSwan because it allows me to be who I am, honest, transparent. And I'm an empathetic person. I like to think. I like to help people. So it allows me to express my personality as a business owner in the way that I want to. Like when I was selling pest control, there was some homes where I saw that they really needed some pest control. And unfortunately, low income people were the ones who needed it the most. But $99 was very expensive to them. But if me as a seller or reseller or business owner, I would have been like, sure, I'll waive off $20 to make it $79.99 for you. So that way you can so your kids can live pest free in your home. But I couldn't do that because I didn't own the business.
You had no control.
And now that I own it, I'm able to say, all right, here's this local mom and pop shop. We're just trying to get by in this economy. It's not going great right now. And me as a business owner, I can say, I can sacrifice $200. I can help this person out. In the long run, they're going to help me pay for my car insurance. In the long run, I want to have a good name for myself where I'm here locally as well. I don't want to walk around stores and then like, oh, here's that business owner. I want to walk around the store and people be like, man, that's Rick. He built my website. Man,
and whether it means reducing the price or bartering or anything like that. You've bartered before, right?
Yeah, I bartered. There's a guy who said he's offering bouncy houses for $4.99 or on his Facebook. Then I said,
for rentals.
I was like, can we do a trade? I was like, I got my kid's birthday coming up. And the website's about $500. You're renting them out for $249. How about you give me 2 rentals and then I'll build you a website? But then I was like, pretty honest, but here's a catch, brother. And he was like, what? It's like, you do have to pay for hosting fees, $49.99. He's like, that's pretty standard, actually. You know, I did look at that. I was thinking about building a website, but he was like, comes with SEO, right? I said, yes. And I was like, and it also comes with a good friend. I just want to make sure that you're a good. I was like, comes with a good friend. I want to make sure I'm a good fit for you, brother. We met up at a coffee shop and showed him the website, and he loved it.
If he's charging $250 per rental, whatever, if he gets one rental, where a customer is making a decision to buy based off something about the website every 5 months, he's in the black.
So I have bartered a lot, and you as a business owner can use that to your advantage.
Oh, yeah.
I think there was this one website that I did have up that I actually went live with his before I received payment. And it was a car detailer. I didn't accept payment first. It was like a trial thing. I did risk $20 to buy the domain. But he was the one where I was in the phase of trying to build a portfolio, and then I'm trying to get into like automobile and that. He ended up paying me the $50. And then he's like, I'm never going to forget this. I'm never going to forget this. You got so many referrals coming your way, and I won't forget you. And as a business owner, you're going to hear that a lot. Oh, we're going to do referrals
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, if you give me a discount, I'll hear it a lot. But man, I'm not going to lie. 1 week after when I went live for him, he paid me a week afterwards. And then a week after it was live, he gave me a referral. And that's how I got the second detail.
Dude, so wait a second. You're less than 2.5 months into this relationship with SiteSwan, and you've got how many sites sold?
13.
13. How many did you actually have to sell? I feel like you're telling me so many referral stories. What's the balance there? How does that ratio work?
I'm overwhelmed with it right now. I can't believe it's happening. It's so surreal. I haven't picked up the prospecting tool in over 2-3 weeks.
Bravo.
And I'm not saying that you should not use those things. I did use it. That's how I got the first 3 or 4 clients I got. Some of them were family and friends. The friends, I don't charge them the $500. I just do the $50. But my approach to them is a little different. I said, hey, I just started my own website design business, and I just want to know if you're someone I can depend on to help me with it. And they're like, sure. And then if they're a good friend, and if they're a friend, they will say, yeah, of course, anything, Rick. So right now, I know that you got a business. I know that you don't have a website. I want to help you help me as I'm building a portfolio right now. I'd like to build you a website, and that's it. That's all I have to say. In return, you just have to pay the $49. Boo-hoo. Of course, I'll help you out. Now, you know what I'm saying? And then when they sign on board, then they realize that they're getting more than just a website. You're helping them out with so many ways, and they're getting clients. Like, your friends are gonna turn into clientele. You want to turn them into clientele because you want them to feel like they are not getting your product just because they're your friend.
Exactly.
And they are. The product sells itself. I told myself when I did sales before, I was like, when you have a product that sells itself, you as a salesman will naturally and organically stand by it. There's no gap. There's no flaw in it. If you sell something and you know that you're willing to give this to your family or a friend without any guilt behind it, you have a good product. You do.
You're absolutely right.
So if my mom and dad own a business, I would 100% stand by it. I know that the websites are effective.
Don't diminish, though, your work, because people buy from people who they like.
A lot of times people do buy the product because you're the marketing itself. Yeah. Now, I've learned not to diminish the software that you give us, because it's so easy to make a website that you forget that, wait, this website's $1,000 worth minimum. So I've tried my best not to diminish this and let them know, oh, step back. I know it's punch and play where you put it in for 10 minutes here, and but the product itself is worth $1,000 minimum. You can ask anybody to do it, whether they're in a beauty salon, nail salon, whatever. Even if there is a professional, I will say that our professional websites can match theirs.
Good. That's exactly right. The quality in the finished product does not directly correlate with the amount of time that you've had to spend setting up and creating it.
I think that's something that business owners have to learn, and they have to learn that the hard way. It's like once you start getting good at when anybody starts getting good at what they're doing, they start realizing that they're spending less time doing what they did to the same thing 10 years ago or 5 years ago because they're just better at it. But should they suffer you're telling me I should get paid less just because I spent less time on it? That doesn't make sense.
No, if you think about it, the customer's getting a better experience. They're getting someone with more experience, with more knowledge and know-how, and they're getting it done faster. What do people pay for? They pay for convenience and they pay for speed and quality. So if you can give someone those things, heck yeah, they're going to pay more because they're getting so much more value.
Exactly. A lot of us are just new at website designing and all that stuff, so we don't really know the ins and outs of like how hard it is to build a website. But when you really start doing it, you'll see easily why it would be. I've seen professional websites that people pay $2,000 to $3,000 for it, and where a SiteSwan website is just as good, sometimes even better. But I'm just so grateful for this. I just say I get to have my weekends off. I get to pick my hours, man. My job it doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel that way. And I'm just really grateful for it, to be honest with you.
It's all about the referrals, baby. All right, so before we wrap up, I have a couple of tips for success that I like to go through when I get a chance to talk to someone like you. And I think you have a lot to offer on, I think, any tip I could possibly throw at you. But 3 come to mind. The first one is to just start calling and talking to people. I can't stand how long it takes some people to just put themselves out there. You started selling before you even signed up with SiteSwan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, when you start talking to people, you'll find how easy it is for you to organically bring up what you do. And like I said before, I reiterated, the way I talk to people is I'm really casual about it. I just say, hey, brother, as a friend, I was like, what do you do for work, man? Oh, what's your side hustle these days? Oh, I own my own lawn care business. Oh, I own my own barbershop. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's great. Like, how long you been in that business? And then eventually at some point, if you're having a good conversation, is what do you do? I actually build websites. I help people market their business online, get online presence, man. Do you have a website? And then you're like, no, I don't. I've been meaning to get one. And if they majority of the time they'll say, I don't know, I have one, but I don't think it's that good. You don't even have to sell them on the spot. You say, hey, what's the name of your business again? Let me build your demo, and then I'll text it to you, or we can meet up in person. I'll show it to you. And that's how I mainly talk to people. I'm very casual about it. Like it's not some sales thing.
Because again, they're buying from you. And if you establish a relationship with them as someone who is trustworthy, sincere, honest, etc., then why wouldn't they want to take the next step to learn more, to see if there's a fit?
They already know who you are as a person. They like you because you met them at maybe it's yoga for some people, maybe it's at your kid's basketball tournament, or for me it's at the gym. And then if you call people, if you have a hard time calling people and you're just really straightforward person, be clear and concise. How I say it, hey, I'm Ricky Rom. I would like to build you a demo of what your business would look like in a website. It's totally free, and I could send it to you. I could show it to you in person, or I can text it to you, which way you like it. If they'll say, yeah, come by and show it to me. So just start calling people. And you know what? If someone curses you out for calling them, hang up the phone. Cool thing about this is that business owners will always pick up their phone, because you could always be a potential customer to them.
Exactly. My next tip for success, which I think you'll be able to also help me out with, use the right language. There's lots of different ways you can say stuff. What, if anything, have you done that has, you think, given you a leg up in the way you're verbally communicating with your leads and potential clients?
I want to take this word and say I invented it, but I can't, because I used it from one of the videos that someone else you were talking to. I think his name was Gary, right?
Was it Gary?
Guy.
Yep.
He's a pretty country guy. Okay. I remember a story that he said that he went to a daycare, and the lady at the daycare was like, it's beautiful, but I don't know if I can do $4.99. And then he said, ma'am, what's manageable to you? The word manageable. And then she was like, I think she said something around like $2.99 or something like that. And he's like, okay, let's do that. And so whenever you ask people what's manageable to them, you're letting them pick what is manageable to them. And the word is not salesy. I love to say manageable. And so a lot of the new clients that I'm getting now that I'm past 10, and if they're a family or a friend, I don't give out free ones anymore. I just say, you know what, my website is worth $99 to $4.99, but because you're my friend, you tell me what's manageable. And one of the restaurant owners, it's called White Rose Ventures, and they're a good friend of ours. And they're just like, Rick, I want to help your business out, but I think $199 is manageable for us. And so I've been using that word a lot. The word is manageable.
That's great. So you do it two ways. You say, tell me what's manageable. And then you'll also say, is this number manageable?
Yes.
So you actually use it in both ways. I really like that, because I think when you're asked that question, it's almost like a test of your abilities. If you're asked to manage something, you want to say yes to that. Yeah. I think we all have this pre-programmed psychology. We're like, I can manage stuff. Yeah, sure, I can manage stuff. I think it gives you more comfort also, because you're not asking as explicitly and specifically for the money. Like, manageable really is a great word to use in the sales process.
It really is. For me, I'm in it for a long run. The setup is really nice, but I'm hoping that this business thrives for 50 years down the road, and 50 years times $50 a month.
And that leads into my third tip for success, which I wanted to actually get your feedback on too, which I think you're about to say, is don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't be
Because
greedy.
You can't get rich on one client. Am I right?
Don't be greedy. Be empathetic and be understanding as well. Try to understand that, for example, the first client that I had maybe only been $2.99. And there are some clients where I don't even charge the setup fee at all. But then I'm just asking them to pay the $49. As I tell myself, if it's not that hard to build, and I am offering a product that's worth $1,000, that's why I said don't diminish the product itself. You tell yourself, like, $49 a month is still better than nothing. And if you just even if you got 4 people who are just paying $49 a month and they didn't pay any setup, that pays for your lease already. And so to tell yourself, like, yeah, it'd be nice to get paid $500 here and there, but and beginning stages of where you're at, and you're just trying to build a portfolio, you're just trying to build a good base of clients that can give you referrals and stuff like that, be a little giving. Maybe that lady at the tamale shop who's only making like $300 a week might need your help. She might need a little bit of help. And be kind to your local mom and pop shops, and so you tell yourself, like, I'm helping out the community a little bit here and there. They're helping me back.
Right.
So I try not to be greedy.
You're absolutely right. So tell me, you're cruising along, getting these referrals and everything. What are your goals with this? What do your next 3 months look like? How are you going to continue to ramp up?
My goal with this whole thing is to get a minimum of 100 clients. Minimum of 100 clients. And then after that, I would hope to venture out and use this as a tool so that whenever I want to resell other products, maybe cybersecurity or maybe social media management, I'm able to say, hey, yeah, I already do marketing for all these clients here. We could take a step forward to that.
That's awesome.
For now.
That's awesome. You're 13% of the way there, aren't you?
I know. It's crazy. It's so surreal. It's like, I can't believe it actually is working out. Like, I'm just so happy to have had this service. I'm not kidding you.
Your energy is contagious and is exactly what I was really hoping to be able to get to show off to our other resellers, is that so much about success in business and here in web design is about coming to the table with the right mindset and the right energy, because that goes a long way.
And let me tell you,
to
brother,
getting you what you're striving for.
Let me tell you this, brother. I have 2 kids. I'm 34 years old. I'm trying to provide for a family. And especially during this economy and how things got 49, like how you can't even buy a meal with just $20 these days, right?
I know.
You can't feed a family of 4 with just $40. So for me to stand and say this is something that I'm using full time to provide for my family is a big deal. But to do it in the way that I want to do it, it's a blessing. It really is. Like, for me to have the schedule that I want, for me to be like, okay, like today is Tuesday, my kid wants to go get a little bit of ice cream here and there, and just like, all right, fine, I'll just put down the phone, or maybe I'll just go to some mom and pop ice cream shop. Oh, how long has this been business here? See, there's like, and so you could literally travel the world and you could sell your product anywhere. You really
Who thought getting ice cream with the kids could be a business expense, right? It's amazing.
Exactly.
If people want to learn more about you, your agency, whatever, how can they follow you on this journey?
So just type in Romsite Marketing Agency, ROMSITE. I didn't put too much time into my own branding because, quite truthfully, I didn't think it was too much of a big deal at the time. But yeah, you can find me there. But when you start your own journey with SiteSwan, you're going to realize that as much as you are a marketing company yourself, you're not really going to need that type of presence online as much as other businesses do. It's good to tell people that you have a portfolio and you have your own website, and it does sell your branding. But I haven't gotten a cold call from someone saying, hey, build my website because of my website. But I have gotten clients to say, I saw your work and I seen your reviews and I seen what you're doing, and it does help you sell yourself. Yeah. But find me on Romsite Marketing Agency. You can leave a review on it. That would be awesome. You might find me.
You hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
You hear that? If anybody deserves a positive review, it's this guy. All right?
Appreciate it.
Rickey, thank you so much for doing this with me today. I think you've offered so much, and I appreciate you disclosing so much about your personal situation, your growth through this process to become a web design agency that is not to be messed with. And I think our viewers are going to have deep gratitude for your commitment to your own success, because I think a lot of people find drive inside themselves by seeing other people who have it. So I think you're doing a huge service here to a lot of people, and I can't thank you enough.
I just want to say thank you again. SiteSwan has changed my life as well. It's definitely helped me and my family, and I'm happy to see that it's affecting businesses, mom and pop shops all around, and it's blessing their lives and putting food on their table as well. And so really appreciate your example of transparency. Everything that this man said about SiteSwan is exactly what it says it is. There's no gimmicks behind it. It is what it is.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. And we work very hard here because we understand that's a deep responsibility that we have, right? Our platform is the basis for what is allowing you to have the lifestyle that you have now and gain the traction that you can as an entrepreneur. So we take that responsibility very seriously, which I think.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Ricky.